If God, who's way smarter than you, said that tongues is part of the program, then your brilliance shouldn't eclipse what he said. Tongues are one of the most upsetting things to the body of Christ. It just doesn't make sense to their mind. When you become too smart for God, then we're in trouble. It's so important. You look at Ephesians when it talks about praying in the Spirit, when it talks about praying in tongues, after it talks about all your armor. It's always praying, always in the Spirit. Sometimes we kind of check out on that. We think it's gibberish. You can assume what you want, but if Jesus talked about it, we should probably believe it. Are you with me? Has anybody ever started their day with tongues? I've been praying in the Spirit for about 20 minutes on the average every morning to start my day, and I find that it actually charges my battery for the day. It's so crazy. What if that was a key? What if you'd wake up and instead of coffee, you'd pray in the Spirit? I'm gonna start doing it more and more. I'm gonna try to get up to an hour every morning of praying in the Spirit every morning, just praying in the Spirit. People are like, well, what do you think about Jesus? I think about the throne room. I think about my Father. I think about how it's amazing that I can approach the throne of grace in time of need, always, and receive grace, because I need that. I found myself, like when I was praying for the sick on a consistent basis in all the grocery stores and all the malls and all the Walmarts, when I first was beginning to do this, I found myself every time praying in the Spirit. I would go through shopping and I'd be praying under my breath, not out loud, because I'm not trying to draw attention to me. I'm trying to put my attention on the Father. So when I'm praying in the Spirit, I'm putting my attention on the Father. But it says that it edifies and it enlarges my spirit man. So as I do that, what happens is it's almost as if I'm charging my battery to where I start to hear more clear. Do you know that it builds up your spirit man? That tongues actually edify your spirit man? It talks about it in 1 Corinthians 14, right after the chapter of love. Goes in there and it talks about prophecy and it talks about tongues, and it says that in a setting like this, tongues can be confusing, but there has to be an interpretation. If it's a viable tongue with an interpretation, it helps to provide grace to people that hear it because they understand. But Paul, he's like, I wish you'd pray like one word rather than 1,000 words, one word that people understand rather than 1,000 words that they don't. But then Paul makes this statement, I pray in tongues more than you all. And the key is that it edifies your spirit man. Pray in the Spirit, strengthening yourself, Jude says, in your most holy of faith.